Hey everyone, and welcome back to another great episode on the Hope and Renewal podcast. This is where faith meets real life and hard truth is held with compassion. Again, this is your favorite host, Antonio Banks. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope and pray that this message speaks to your heart. And if it does, that you do not keep it to yourself, but you will share it with somebody else. I want to, before we get started, to say, if you're listening to this episode, I want to say happy Thanksgiving. I also want to say that if you're listening to this episode loud where everybody can hear it, I would get the earplugs, especially if you have kids around. It's not for the kids. We're talking about grown folks' truth today, like we always do on the Hope and Renewal podcast. The one I want to start with is this. I want to talk about little white lies. The lies we swear are harmless. The lies we laugh off. The lies we think don't matter. And here's the truth. Sometimes it's the smallest lies that do the most significant damage. And here's the wild part. We're not just telling them to our kids. We're telling them in our relationships. We're even telling them at work, to our bosses, our friendships, even to ourselves. Let me show you what I mean. I want to start with the classic, the one we all heard and all the ones we are doing now. Santa's watching you. Even the news have like a little Santa Claus sleigh coming across the map. The tooth fairy came. The Easter bunny left you something. We call this magic. We call it childhood. We even call it tradition. And here at the end of the day, it's still a lie in a cute little outfit. When your kids find out, they don't just question Santa, they question you. But here's the twist. We carry these habits right into our adulthood. We do it to our kids. We keep telling kid-friendly lies just in grown-up packaging. And let me give you some everyday examples, because some of us are guilty of it today. Have you ever had someone tell you, I'm fine, but their tone says, no, I'm not, and you know I'm not? That's a little white lie. What about, it's not you, it's me? No, it was you. And here's a big one. I'm not mad, but they slammed the cabinet door so hard that the hinges filed a complaint. See, we lie because we don't want conflict. We lie because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings. We lie because being honest feels risky. The dangerous part about the whole thing is this. A relationship built on tiny lies becomes a relationship with tiny cracks. The cracks don't show at first, not on the first lie, not on the fifth lie, and maybe not on the 10th lie, but one day the crack becomes a gap. The gap becomes a wall, and the wall becomes the reason two people wake up in the same bed but feel miles apart. Or what about somebody saying, I didn't get the email, but you did. You just didn't read it. Yes, I understand you absolutely did not. We have that a lot. People say they understand, but do they really? We tell these lies because we think they're small. We tell them because we think they don't matter. We tell them because we think nobody will notice. But guess what? Who notices? Your boss, your coworkers, and eventually you. You start noticing the type of person you're becoming. A person who would rather lie to avoid responsibility, then grow enough to handle it. Friendships carry their own categories of little white lies. For instance, they'll say, no, I'm not upset you didn't invite me, knowing their heart says, so that's how we're doing it now? don't mind doing everything, and we hear this, a lot of people do. Resentment, though, is building like interest on a loan. I'm okay, but you're drowning silently because you don't want the burden for anybody else. See, the problem with friendship lies in this. Every time you lie to keep the peace, you sacrifice a piece of yourself. You chip away at honesty. You chip away at trust. You even chip away at the connection. And one day, the friendship ends. And it's not because of a big betrayal. It's because of 100 tiny lies that never got addressed. And it's taken me to the Bible, because let's go deeper. The worst lies, they're not the ones we tell others or tell others. It's the ones we tell ourselves. And in the Bible, we see that Abraham and Sarah did the same thing. They weren't evil. They weren't faithless. They weren't reckless. They were scared. They were impatient, and they were tired of waiting. So they did what we do. They lied a little to protect themselves. They lied a little to speed things up. They even lied a little to keep things comfortable. But what did the lies do? They didn't stay little. They grew. Abraham's lie, it caused chaos in Pharaoh's house. Sarah's lie, it created tension and heartbreak in their home. Your lie, it might create confusion in your relationships, drama at your job, distance in your friendships, self-destruction in your spirit. And lies will always cost more than what we expect. See, the blessing in Abraham and Sarah's story is this. God didn't throw them away. He corrected them. He restored them. He kept his promise anyway. And the absolute truth is this. It can't be derailed by human shortcuts. And I want you to take today episode. It's in your home. I want you to take it in your relationships, in your workplace, in your friendships, and say every lie you tell today becomes a consequence you face tomorrow. Every truth you tell today becomes a foundation you build for tomorrow. And I want to close with this. I want to challenge you this week, not with a big task, but with maybe a small one. Not with a dramatic assignment though, just with one power question. Where am I using little white lies to avoid the big truth? I want you to ask it in your relationships. I want you to ask it with God, and I want you to ask it with yourself. Because honesty won't always feel good, but dishonesty will always cost you more. I want you to tell the truth, even when it shakes you, because truth builds things that lies can never hold together. This is the Hope and Renewal podcast, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Share this episode with somebody who needs it. Somebody who's been lying to protect people, lying to avoid conflict, or lying to make life feel a little easier. The truth might stretch you, but it will save you, strengthen you, and set you free. Until next time, stay real, stay grounded, and stay renewed. Make sure to go subscribe and follow on every podcast platform.